born into a poor household. Our house is next to the wide Jordan River. When I was 10 years old, my baby brother was born. His name was Mike. I clearly remember the look on my father's face outside the delivery room when he learned that my mother had given birth to a son. He was so happy that he jumped and howled loudly, causing the nurse to call security to chase him out of the hospital. What was so good about having a son that my father was so happy? Hello everyone, my name is Lucky from Tipton. Today, I will share with you the story of my life. Before listening to my life story, please like and subscribe to this channel to receive the earliest notifications. From when my brother was young until he was 5, my parents adored him and were willing to buy anything he liked. Gradually, my parents' bias made me feel miserable and annoyed. Lucky, I bought this t-shirt at the thrift store. Come over and have a look. Isn't it pretty? Is it for me? I'm sorry, but it's for your brother. Oh, then whatever. I'm sure the kid will love it. It's time to pick up little Mike from church. Lucky, you go pick him up. Remember to bring your brother's coat too. Mom, can't you see I'm busy? I still have a lot of homework to do. It's okay. You don't need to study much. You will stay at home to cook and clean when you grow up. These things don't require knowledge. Now, go pick your brother up before your father gets home. As always, they only cared about little Mike. They didn't even care about my feelings. I hated Mike. Yeah, I hated him partly because our parents loved him more than me, and partly because he relied on their pampering so much that he became spoiled. At home, he always played pranks on me, from catching lizards and putting them on my bed to pulling my braids whenever he found me sitting. He wanted to make me mad to get me chasing him around the house. Every time I was about to grab him, he would run to my mom or dad and snuggle up to them. So, of course, our parents always saw me as a bully and scolded me.
Lucky, stop teasing your brother. Do your chores instead.
But he started it first. At times like that, I could only sigh helplessly. I once asked my grandma about this, and she told me.
Maybe your dad likes Mike because he's a boy, and boys are usually stronger than girls.
I thought about what she said for a long time. I could be as strong as the boys too. When Mike was 8 years old, our parents suddenly announced the shocking news to me. Lucky, I'm sorry to tell you that you'll probably have to drop out of school because we don't have enough money to support you until the end of high school. Why? Please, I will keep working as I study. I only have over a year left.
Please, accept this, Lucky. We have to save some money to raise your little brother. He needs a better environment to express himself. Little Mike has an intelligent mind. He calculates very fast and always gets higher marks than his friends.
So that's why I have to sacrifice for him?
This is something neither of us wants. Lucky, please understand.
What would happen to me later if I let their selfishness slide this time? In front of the begging eyes of the people I considered family, I tried not to cry and ran out of the house. In the dark of night, I ran alone through the wheat field to my grandmother's house. I hated my parents. In their eyes, Mike was their child, and I was nothing. After she knew everything, my grandmother hugged me and gently stroked my messy hair. She comforted me and let me cry in her lap all night. I stayed with her for 2 days. My grandmother was old and weak. My mother was scared that my father would be bothered and that my family was also dirt poor, so we could not look after her. Now, my grandma had to support me. I loved her very much and was very angry with my parents. But confronting my parents wasn't a good solution either. So, the next day, I returned home and my parents acted like nothing happened. Oh, you're back. Right time. Hurry inside and change clothes. I got us a good job. The payment is very high. You only think of me when you need me? Come on, Lucky. It's because our family is so poor. You should sympathize with your parents rather than keep blaming us. Fine. I followed my mother up to town to work. In contrast to the poor life in our village, the place where I go to work is a magnificent castle. Look at the roses and the green grass floating like clouds in the sky. Surely, the owner of this house must be a very wealthy person. Butler Amanda led us into the castle through the back door and went straight to the kitchen.
You two will work in this place from now on. You work in the kitchen? washing the dirty dishes, and this child comes upstairs and cleans the banquet room. Around 7 o'clock, the guests will begin to arrive. Until then, you must sweep the floor crystal clean. Remember, you have to clean until no speck of dust is left.
Yes, ma'am. We will work hard. I didn't understand what was happening, but my mother pushed me. She motioned for me to hurry up and follow Amanda. So, ma'am, what shall I do?
Come on, are you deaf? What makes you forget what I just said so fast? Listen, you must come into this room, grab a mop and a broom, and clean it until this table is shiny enough to see your face on its surface. Understand? Stop asking if you don't want to get fired.
Yes, madam. The people here were unlikable, bossy, and obnoxious. That was what I noticed when I first arrived here. In front of me was a vast banquet hall. On the floor, papers and cigarette butts were littered everywhere on the red carpet. Oh, what a mess! What did they do to that room? I had to clean this large room immediately. The bell outside the house rang loudly when the clock pendulum struck 7 o'clock. I saw the figure of a woman in a gorgeous dress walking down the stairs. I heard the woman's voice talking to the housekeeper.
Amanda, my guests have started to arrive. Are the rooms tidy?
My lady, all the rooms are ready. They're waiting for your guests to arrive.
Very well. Now, tell the servant to go.
Receiving the woman's order, I took all the cleaning tools and walked down the stairs, struggling with every step. Normally, I was very strong at home. However, after only working for a while, my body felt like it was about to crack. While going down, a broom accidentally fell from my hand and rolled to the ground. There was a very soft voice said,
Is this yours?
"Oh, that's right. It's what my whole job is about."
I haven't seen you here before. Are you new?
That's right. I just arrived just now, and believe it or not, they didn't even tell me what to do and yelled at me. I tolerate them because of the high salary. Do you understand?
I see. You're interesting. Come on, I'll help you carry some of your tools.
Thank you so much. Do you work here too?
Yes.
That was the first time we met. After that day, I knew the girl's name was Sela. Sela was a shy girl. She wore an oversized shirt with a hood that covered her entire face. Sometimes, I wanted to see Sala's face clearly, but Sela seemed shy and constantly insisted she was ugly. I was not someone who valued appearances above all. I only wanted a true friend in that gorgeous palace full of bossy people. So the next day, when I finished work, I found Sela and wanted to be her best friend. Hey Sela, I have no friends in this place. Can I become friends with you?
Of course. I never really had a close friend. No one wanted to be friends with me. I'm glad you want to know me.
Why? You're so kind.
Probably because I'm ugly. My parents even scolded and abandoned me just because I was born looking different from them. I am their failed version.
I'm not like your parents. No matter what you are, I still find you lovely and kind.
Do you mean it? Promise not to leave me.
At this point, Sela felt reassured. She took off her hood for me to see her face. She has a petite frame, a high nose, and a big round blue eyes. I couldn't find anything wrong with her pretty face except for a few unevenly distributed black dots on the cheeks. Perhaps it was because my gaze was too focused and Sela became embarrassed. She lowered her head hastily and pulled the hood down to the bottom of her chin.
It's terrible, isn't it? I know it. Every time she sees me, Mom covers her mouth so she doesn't vomit.
Sela seemed to be misunderstanding me. I didn't think anything bad about her appearance. I was overwhelmed by her beauty. When I saw her face, I was captivated by her big round eyes in the blink of an eye. No, take off your hood. You're so pretty. Oh my God, it's the first time I've seen such a beautiful girl.
Don't you find his freckles disgusting?
No, I even found them beautiful. From now on, please stop wearing your hood. With this cute and innocent look, people will love you as much as I do.
Lucky. Thank you. Being your friend is the luckiest thing that ever happened to me.
Since then, Sela and I have gotten closer. I wanted to know many things about her, And I also shared my family stories with her. When she heard me talk about Mike and my parents' injustice, she even got so angry that she stood up. But on the contrary, I didn't know anything about her family. She didn't seem to want to share anything about her family, and I didn't want to embarrass her, so I didn't ask much. That night, after returning home, I asked my mother about Salah's presence, but she didn't seem to know who she was either. Go to sleep now, and stop asking things I don't know. Maybe that girl is the daughter of the servant in the house. I knew that Mom said about Salah wasn't true. That night, when I went to bed, I kept thinking of Salah, who is both beautiful and kind. I look forward to seeing her again tomorrow. The following morning, she just came and gave me an apple. When lunch was about to start, Salah ran away in panic. I didn't understand why she was like that. Did something happen? Did she get in trouble? I even tried to chase after her, but Salah's body was small and she was as fast as a squirrel. I couldn't keep up. In the afternoon, an hour after lunch, I met her again, but right now, I was called in the party room by Mrs. Amanda to clean up and carry the dirty dishes down the kitchen. According to my research, this castle belonged to the Sim family. A servant told me that they inherited a vast fortune from their parents. But recently, their family status seemed to be dwindling because the Sims only wasted it on their playtime with no source of income. Lately, they have thrown more parties for some purpose. I walked out of the banquet hall with a heavy tower of dishes. The china plates were so heavy that I felt my hands had fallen off my body. At this time, I suddenly saw Salah's shadow circling nearby. Salah, help me!
I can't go up there. If someone sees me, it will be troublesome.
Why? It's okay, there's no one here.
Okay, but we have to hurry.
Salah came and helped me carry the dishes downstairs. Suddenly, a man with a red face and half-lidded eyes appeared from the large room. And fortunately, he bumped into Salah.
You brat! You know who you bumped into!
Salah, are you okay? We apologize, sir. We will leave at once. The tall man seemed extremely angry. He grabbed Salah by the neck and was about to lift her.
Oh, what do we have here? An ugly brat and a ragged child.
I tried to pull Salah towards me. While he was distracted by the call from the party room, I used all my strength to remove the man's hand from Salah's collar and drag her downstairs quickly. Are you okay, Salah?
I was petrified. I thought he was going to hit me.
Don't worry, I'm here. I'll protect you. Perhaps because she was too scared, Salah hugged me tightly. Salah was weak and needed to be protected. From that moment, we became closer. Whenever we had free time, we made an appointment under our usual pine tree to talk. I knew I wanted to protect Salah, and my heart beat fast when I was around her. Did this mean I was in love with Salah? I needed to confess to Salah. I needed to tell her this. The next day, I decided to ask Salah out to the pine tree to talk. Salah, you may not believe this, but I feel I need to protect you.
Protect? What do you mean?
I like you.
But Lucky, we're both girls. No one will accept us.
I don't care about that. I just want to know if you love me.
I can't, Lucky. If they know I love a girl, my parents will go crazy. Maybe they will harm you. I don't want this to happen. Mom said I would have to marry a man of their choice.
So, does that mean you don't love me?
I'm sorry, Lucky.
I understand. The rejection was painful. I thought long and hard and then decided to cut my long hair. I also dressed sloppily to look as much like a boy as possible. If I were a boy, would Salah love me? My parents also seemed to notice my unusual behavior. My father even introduced a man in the village to me, but I flatly refused. The following days at work, my mind was heavy. I always thought of Salah. It has been a few days since I have last seen her, but one day, while cleaning the banquet hall, I met Salah dressed as a princess and walking beside Lady Irina. In my stunned gaze, the lady instructed Salah, Salah, stay here until I get back. Oh, and learn the upper-class children's etiquette. You should obediently wait for the day to meet your fiancé. I silently watched the lady go out and then confronted Salah. What is this, Sella? Are you the daughter of the owner of this castle?
Yes, I'm sorry I lied to you.
You disappointed me. Congratulations, by the way. You're getting married soon.
Lucky, please don't talk to me like that. I'm in a lot of pain. I love you and I don't want to involve you, but right now, I don't know what to do. My parents forced me to marry someone I didn't love in exchange for a large sum. They just wanted to take advantage of me.
Seeing Sella like that, I felt sorry and just wanted to hug her. So do you want me to help?
Can you help me?
Okay, but first, stop crying and listen to me. That afternoon, I made a plan with Sella. Sella was nervous, but when she looked into my eyes, she calmed down. Sella told me about the place where the meeting of the two families would happen. Sim's family has invited Max, who would become Sella's husband, to their castle to discuss the wedding. When the two families were at the height of the negotiation, my plan with Sella begun. Taking advantage of the servant's freedom to walk around while carrying a plate of cake, I grabbed Sella's hand tightly, and before many eyes in the room, I kissed Sella passionately. The Sims couldn't believe what was happening before their eyes. Max was shocked and immediately he stood up.
What are you trying to sell me? So disgusting!
It's disgusting. Get out! My family doesn't have a freak daughter like you. Get out! So terrifying! Mr. Max, listen to us first. I pulled Sella's hand and ran away in front of everyone's shock. From now on, Sella might have lost her family, but I would never leave her. I brought Sella to my home. When he knew all this, my father was apprehensive because he was afraid my family wouldn't be capable of supporting Sella. But I didn't care because the two of us would have a life of our own. Sella, in the future, our future life might be difficult, but as long as we try hard together, I'm sure everything will be fine.
Sure, we will fight together. I will be forever by her side.